Hi and good afternoon, good evening. Welcome to Gifted Hands Homestead. Um, I my thumbnail talks about 30 fruit trees in containers, and I don't have all 30 in my sunroom at home. Some are outside, and I have a whole lot that are coming. But I wanted to quickly go through to show that it is possible up to maybe a certain point or a certain type of tree that you can grow fruit in containers. Now, I do have two tangerine trees, and I'm going to show you the oranges that are growing on them now. I do bring them in because I'm not necessarily in a zone, even though I'm in North Carolina, that they would fare well in the ground around this time. So, part of having these orange trees is that I do realize I'm going to have to bring them in, take them out, or come up with some type of hot house where I'm pumping heat into that hot house during the winter months here in North Carolina, or I can continue to bring them in. I do have them on my back sun porch, but outside of that, I have ordered and I have trees. I have a whole lot of trees, a lot of pluots and plumots, pears, and what else do we have? We have quite a few things that are coming. And I have 7 gallon, 10 gallon, and I think I'm going to try to get up to a 15 gallon container like this to plant those, and they will remain in their containers for a few years before I can. As many of you know, we just recently moved to our property, and so until I can identify where we want to plant them, because one of the first things they say you want to do when you do get that property is identify and go ahead and plant your fruit trees and your nut trees and your berry bushes and all that good stuff, because it takes a while to get them established. So why I am trying to locate areas where the fruit trees are going to be planted, I am going to spend time nurturing and feeding and getting the roots really strong and inside the containers. So, like I said, I think last I counted, I have about 30. Now, will all 30 go into my ground? Absolutely not. I don't mind sharing, but these are some things that, some fruit trees that I have purchased that I have come to find I really like the fruit, and you can't necessarily find the fruit in the grocery store. Now, I have, if anybody know about this nursery in South Carolina, I have purchased my 2 orange trees from him, and I also purchased this Barbados cherry tree, and it's growing. It really looks healthy, and he is awesome. You can find him on Facebook. His website is not up to date, but if you call, he will get right back to you. I have been very, very pleased with the 2 orange trees that I received from him. And this summer, I just said, "What the heck?" When he posted that he had these cherry trees, I said, "Let's try it." So I can tell you that when I did purchase this cherry tree, it was maybe this tall from the bottom of the container to about maybe right here. And as you can see, it's growing taller. So I did feed it right before it got really cold. So I just come in my sunroom every blue moon and I will water. All right, so I do order from quite a few different nurseries. I don't just go with one, but there are certain things that I look for in a nursery when I am going to place an order. We all know that there can be failures when it comes to ordering fruit trees, and I don't want to have to haggle back and forth with a company because you really don't believe that your fruit tree didn't survive under your warranty. So I can give kudos to Starks Brothers. They are really good when it comes to your warranty on your fruit trees. So I do try my best to purchase as many fruit trees from them as I can. I also purchased from One Green World, Grow Organic. I have purchased a lot of my plum trees from them. And I have also purchased from, there's one more. Grow Organic, One Green World, and Peaceful Heritage. Now, if you are into the pawpaws, I recently had a chance to get 2 of their pawpaws. Now, they're unnamed, they're cultivars, but it's just an ultra select, so you don't really know what cultivar you have, which I didn't understand until after I received my fruit trees from them, my 2 pawpaw trees. But I do have a total of 6 pawpaw trees, so 2 are inside waiting to go into bigger pots, and then I have 4 that on the outside. So I have my fig trees. This is a LSU fig. This is a bubblegum pluot. Sorry about that. It's blurry. This here is, oh, this apple right here is amazing. Okay. Can you see that? It's the Co-op 311 wine crisp. Okay. I think I'm going to actually order more than one of those because it is amazing. I'm not an apple fan, but someone actually went to an apple picking farm and brought me back a 5-pound bag of these apples. So if I don't like a soft mushy apple, so this one was, and I don't like an extremely hard apple that has like a tartness to it. This was just perfect. So I went on and I purchased a apple tree, the wine crisp from Starks Brothers. I have here, because it needs a pollinator, and I know that's kind of small, you guys can't see it, so I ordered a Candy Crisp. Not that I'm actually in love with it, never had it before, but out of all the choices, I went with that one to help pollinate. Here I have a black Tartarian sweet cherry. I have a Stella tree that's coming. I have more plum trees in the back that are coming as well. Well, I have one here, but I have more plum trees. So as a result, this is the bubblegum plum tree. I've always wanted that tree. So I'm going to kind of zoom back so that you can see all of the wonderful trees that I have growing in my sunroom. And I have a huge sunroom. That was one of the perks when I came across this house, that I will get to use this room to grow a lot of things and to hold my plants that need to come in from outside. So as we move up, I want you to see, this is the Brown Select orange tree. And I bought this in 2020. I do on my tags put the year, because sometimes we get impatient, like here. I bought this one in 2021. Sometimes we get impatient when we lose track of how long we've had this tree and it should be producing and it's not. I can always look back on that tag and see that, yes, okay, well, it's not time for it to produce yet, because I only had it for a couple of years, even though it may feel like I've had it for 4 or 5 years. So I just want to turn this around so that you can kind of look at that graft. I mean, it is amazing. And I got these from Mackenzie. You could just see the graft on here. And actually, I need to take that off because it is tight on that branch. But this tree is amazing. I'm going to turn it back around because it's kind of falling into my other trees. So we're going to keep coming up top. And as you can see, there's an orange right there. And I have a grow light on it. It's like an octopus. So you may not be able to see it. And because this fig tree is under lights, it's like growing and blooming like crazy. So the lights are good, but it kind of tricks the trees into thinking that it's time to bloom and it's time to start working, producing fruit again. So you have to be careful when you do bring them in and you have them under lights. So I am sitting on the floor, y'all, so give me a minute to get up. Let me. Oh, sorry, yeah. All right, so I'm gonna. Ooh. All right, so I'm gonna bring y'all up top where you can actually see the. Can y'all see that? No, let me take you over here to this one. Ouch. Where you can actually see the oranges that are producing, and they're getting bigger and bigger every day. We have some here. Now, some people would say pick them off, but I'm just going to see what the tree does itself. It may drop the actual orange, oranges that are growing, or it may produce an orange. I think I've had these long enough where if it, I'm just going to see. Excited. I don't want to take it off, but I know like a lot of people say this is the hardest thing to do when it comes to removing your oranges from your tree. But this is a Owari Satsuma. Is another form of a tangerine orange. And this is just beautiful. Another tree from Mackenzie Nursery down in South Carolina. So if you are actually looking for, if you're looking for, we start doing one thing and then we'll notice something on our trees and we get distracted. But if you are actually looking for tangerine citrus trees, you may want to check him out. Shipping is awesome. He packs them very well. There's one YouTuber, I think he's the Millennium Gardener or something to that effect. He does or has a lot of videos of the fruit trees, and this is actually how I found Mackenzie in South Carolina, because he's purchased quite a few from them. But I just wanted to give you, if you want to look at the light, I'm going to back out if you can see that. And it's just like octopus arms. Sometimes you can get 5 or 4. I think mine are 4. And they basically, you can adjust them. And, you can move them. And this has been the go-to light for my fruit trees since I brought them in. All right, and again, this is the fig tree. This is the LSU fig tree that thinks that it's time to bloom, and it has big, beautiful leaves on it. Okay. And just to put you down low, these are just some of the fruit trees. I have a lot more coming. Actually, I went to the nursery to get dirt because many of them, starting probably in the month of January and February, will come bare root. And then you will have some that will come in containers, but I do need to be ready, make sure that I am ready with dirt and my whole mix and getting them into the pot so that they will be healthy. And I think this one is looking like it's trying to bud as well. But yeah, you can grow and produce fruit in fruit containers. Definitely berries you can produce. You just have to make sure that you have the right size fruit container. It doesn't have to be a fruit container, it's actually a pot. And then at some point, if they're going to remain in those containers, you have to up pot or get a bigger pot, in other words, to make sure that the roots can spread out. Now, will they stay in pots forever? Absolutely not. I'm going to come up with a way to get these orange trees into some type of hot house so that they can remain outside. And then I'm going to also train my trees, even though I didn't spend the money on every tree to make sure that it was a dwarf, but I'm going to train them that they're only going to grow a certain size. Okay. Now, here's something else that I do. Aside from my tag, when everything is green outside, is sunny, it's hard to find these. So I ordered this flag tape. They come in all different colors so that I can spot this in all of the greenery during summertime when things are overgrown, and I know exactly where my tag is at. So that may be something that may be beneficial to you when you are tagging your trees, your bushes, your berry bushes, whatever the case may be. There's a lot of uses for the actual flag. Okay, now pink, purple happens to be my favorite color, 2 of my favorite colors. So I went with a bright pink. Now you may want to go with bright purple, bright blue, neon green. Choice is yours. But it does help for them to stand out. You get a roll and you can cut it as long as or as short as you want. All right, so that is my video on growing fruit trees in containers. They can remain in containers for a nice period of time. You just have to make sure that you are giving it a little more attention when it comes to water, fertilization, because it's not in the ground where it can kind of put a reserve and tap into that reserve when drought or you forget human error to water or feed your fruit trees. You're actually going to get more runoff with it being in a container like this as opposed to it being in the ground. Okay, so just know, yes, you can, but there's more attention that you have to pay towards your fruit trees that are in containers. All right, well, I thank y'all for tapping in. I'm sorry for the blunder. I'm still trying to learn how to edit, so I may not even be able to edit that part out. Just skip over it, and like, subscribe, and leave me a comment. Thank you.